I'm going to take a break here. When I get back, and I guess I'm going to finally talk about the Christmas present from a couple of years ago. As much as I don't want to, I did promise I would do this. So I'm going to do it. Today's embarrassment day for Ron Bennington. I get the bad picture up. The weird production stuff went on. And now I'm going to admit the humiliating Christmas present. Where, A, I felt somewhat like Aaron Rodgers, like how do I get out of this? And B, I oddly felt like I had an extra dick. So it's almost like I was double dick guy myself.
Getting double dicked if you felt like Aaron Rodgers. That's even worse.
Discount double dick. I'm sorry, what was that?
Not for Aaron. He would enjoy.
Let's break here. We'll come back, and I will reveal the embarrassing Christmas present Fez Whatley gave to me. Is it 3 years ago, Fez, or 2?
3 years ago now.
3 years ago, which I said I would never tell the story of, but because we're starting the new channel over here, I said I would give this out today. And I'm actually going to want your feedback, the listeners, on this. Whether it should have been so odd.
I can't wait to see what this is. Could have been gay, just weird, too personal.
It's too personal. It's too weird. It's too odd. I now want to back out of it. As I'm leading up to say this, you know what I mean? What weirds me out is I feel like the rest of my life was a lie. A weird lie because of this present. Could a Christmas present even do such a thing?
Send shockwaves across the comedy world.
I might not even do it now.
You have to now.
I really don't know if I'm going to.
Got your helmet and pads on.
And I know it probably sounds like, oh, look at him carny this up. No. I'm nothing but totally honest with you today. I'm totally honest that Chris Stanley ripped my fucking heart out today. I'm totally honest that Fez Whatley weirds me out on a daily fucking basis. Today, even stranger, and that gruff, weird 20-year-old Fezatorial that he did was odd as hell. And Shelby, I think, is a creep. I'm going to even be honest when I say that I think the new intern is too attractive. And I worry about that around here.
Could be a problem.
I got to create a safe zone for her. But when I get back, I will talk about the new Christmas present, or the Christmas present that I got 3 years ago. It's the Ron and Fez Show.
Ron and Fez on Raw Dog.
Raw Dog, SiriusXM.
Comedy Hits, Channel 99. Ron and Fez on Raw Dog, SiriusXM. Comedy Hits, Channel 99.
Green Sally up, green Sally down. Last done start, gotta tell the brown. Green Sally up, green Sally down. Last done start, gotta tell the brown. Green Sally up, green Sally down. Last done start, gotta tell the brown. Green Sally up, green Sally down. Last done start, gotta tell the brown. Green Sally up,
Chris Stanley, what are these songs that you're bringing the Ron and Fez Show back with? Not one has been agreed to.
Going for like a 90s.
You were not supposed to go with something. You were supposed to get it approved. You're off the fucking rails, dude.
Yeah, I am.
You're off the rails. And Fez just went in and talked to you. Johnny Mac already says he doesn't want to hear these kind of songs. You don't fucking listen. I got to walk into that goddamn meeting after the show today. You have gone away, dude. You've gone away. I don't know what everyone's bottom is, but this has got to be yours. At least in terms of working here. Even while you're taking shit for this is still happening. Send me in the 2 new interns, or 1 new intern and the returning. Vito is back to do another time with us. Vito, welcome back.
Thank you, Ron.
Terrible job setting up the studio today. Just maddeningly bad. But tell us who the new intern is.
This is.
You haven't learned her name yet.
Yeah.
Do you know that you're supposed to be head of the interns?
I know. I've been taking her around. I've been showing her things. I've been showing her computers.
What is your name, darling?
Nerys.
Norris. How's Vito been doing with you so far?
He's been doing good so far. He's been teaching me around everything.
Where do you go to school? Brooklyn?
Brooklyn College.
Are you a New York girl originally?
Yeah, Queens.
You got a very exotic look, and I'm going to tell you this right off the bat. You're far too attractive for this place. So, I need you to know something. This is a safe zone. Okay?
Okay.
This is a safe zone. You can go in and tell your parents, Mr. Bennington's keeping an eye on me. He's already warned me I'm too attractive for this place, but he's making this into a total safe zone. So the second anyone says anything inappropriate or weird to you, you come to me and I'll break their thumbs. All right?
All right.
All right, so consider it like you just had an uncle who just recently got out of jail and maybe he's going too far to be protective. That's going to be Mayfield.
So I come to you.
Now, the name Norris,
Nerys.
where does that come from? What is the...
I'm Hispanic. I'm Dominican.
I'd never heard that name before in my life.
I know it was my mom's sister's name who passed away, so she gave it to me.
Beautiful name. Again, if you ever hear these guys say, like, it would be nice to be with Norris, come to me and I'll break their thumbs. You know what? You live with your mom still? Or
Yeah.
when you go home and say to yourself that this white guy wants to be my Dominican uncle. He's going to be my Dominican uncle looking out for me. Safe zone. Do you understand that too, Vito?
I understand.
By the way, why do you look so sweaty and weird and unkempt today?
I think I look great.
You look
But
haggard.
You don't see the sheen of sweat over you?
No, I think, you know what, maybe I'm just greasy.
Well, that's not a good thing. Did you shower this morning?
Yeah, I showered this morning. I had a nice shower.
In what, grease? In like Crisco?
No, like in water and like Irish Spring soap.
When did you shower? The 1970s?
I love Irish Spring. It's green and like I rub it all over myself. And
It's not making a dent.
I smell fantastic. If you guys want to smell me.
No, I don't.
I know I don't look like I smell good.
But you look like fish oil. Like someone put a T-shirt on fish oil. By the way, how's that tied in with wrestling, that T-shirt today?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
Who is it?
CM Punk.
And he wears an arrow? Is it like an arrow?
No, he's straight edge, so that's what the X is for.
Oh, okay. You straight edge too?
No, not at all.
Okay. Safe zone around her.
I know,
Do you
we're good.
understand? And here's what I want you to be when you're in these halls around these other creepy, weird interns. You're my eyes and ears.
I'll punch anybody in the face.
Well, don't punch until you check with me first, because
Okay.
a lot of times you overreact.
Okay.
But I want this. What is your goal in radio?
I want to be either a TV, a host, or a radio host.
You're going to be a TV host. You're too pretty for radio. Shelby's also pretty, don't you think? He's got pretty
Beautiful.
eyes. He's got really nice eyes.
Beautiful eyes.
Yeah, he's got gorgeous eyes. Then the rest of him gets oddly creepy. Now, even though you two are probably around the same age, no dating because he works here full time.
Got it.
And he also likes boys. So that's the two things that won't work out.
Allegedly.
No, it's not alleged. It's documented. You went to Fez on Thanksgiving dinner, and you
Forgot
two,
about that.
you two rubbed bellies together in front of his mom.
And then I read it on Queer Tea.
It's really coming back to bite me. Yes.
Well, Fez also came back to bite me in the ass, and that was part of the fun. All right, I will get around and say what the weird Christmas present was, and I'm going to let all you guys decide whether I'm overreacting with this or whether it makes sense. I don't know whether I can even tell this story because it made me feel like, did you guys see Sixth Sense? The fucking movie?
Yeah.
With Bruce Willis?
I didn't see it.
Well, I don't want to put like your little fingers in your ear so you don't hear the spoiler. But at a certain point, he found out that his reality wasn't. And then he went back and started thinking piece by piece, oh, yeah, that's when I should have realized I was dead. Or none of those people knew that I was dead before. Okay, I'm going to tell the story. I go back with Fez Watley, my longtime radio partner, long before we started doing radio. I had just started doing stand-up comedy in Florida. And I had picked up a gig as the MC of a club. I'd only been doing this a couple of months. And you know when, Shelby, you know, because you're like a young comic, do you know, like, when you get that MC gig, then you're like, wait, I got enough money now? Because back then, it would be like a few $100 a weekend.
Yeah.
And then you're like, if I book one or two other gigs, I can quit my day job. So it was immediately, I'd started doing comedy. 3-4 months later, I got this gig, and I'm like, I guess I'm a professional now. I don't have to work at a day job. So it was like a very fun time for me. And Fez came in with a group of people. A girl with very large breasts, a midget, a couple other weirdos along with it. They were a weird table. And they came in and they were like great laughers. And then after the show, they bought me a bunch of drinks. And I was a practicing alcoholic for most of my life. So this was like a very nice thing. I'm going to sit and have drinks, blah, blah, blah. Now, as I said, there's a midget at the table and also a girl with ridiculously large breasts. So I don't pay attention to the guys. Even now, I only see you. I don't see the guys in the room. But they kept coming back, and about a month later, Fez tried his, first open mic thing. And was funny. So years go by, I get a gig in radio. Fez calls me up. Hey, I've got a degree in radio. Could I come in? And so I'd bring him in, and then he would hang out for a while. He started, writing a couple little things, and then he got into radio on our show. He became a phone screener, producer. And then finally, when that show ended, Fez and I started doing radio together, and we came to New York. And I'm now, by the way, I've just jumped ahead 20-some years. I mean, if this was a movie, like, there would be calendars going by and seasons changing and, like, news things going down. And at certain points, Fez and I got, very comfortable as friends, not just co-workers, but as buddies. And then he started to hang around my house and really became like an uncle to my children. When people go, what is your relationship with Fez like? It's very unlike people who work together and more like people who were born into the same family or whatever. At least the way that I started taking it. And that's why I put up with days like today and the weird no payoff stuff that you would not, like, obviously I'm not putting up with that with Hicks, but in the case of Fez, I just go, well, what am I going to do? That's a relative to me. 3 years ago, it's Christmas. And Fez comes over to my house, as he always does for Christmas. The kids are there. They all exchange gifts back and forth. They've been doing this since they were all really, really little. Fez gives me a present. I've since sent that over to the iBank, so it will be going up on the iBank. And I open it up. I open up this present. I don't really know what it is. And it's like a little frame. And in it is a pack of matches. And I look at the matches, and they're from this little club in a mall. And he goes, I've saved these matches since the night we met. And I was, again, it's like if I could have dropped them in slow motion and watched them shatter on the ground and then realize, oh my God, the relationship that I thought me and this guy had together all these years is not the relationship. Who does that? Who would say, I've saved the matches from the night we met? Hicks, would you be able to handle that?
That's stalker. That's stalker shit. That's crazy. That's really.
There's the picture of a very old pack of matches.
The night we met.
That apparently he's kept taped to his balls all these years. Now, Shelby, do you find it overly weird?
Yeah, so you're saying this wasn't the first time we did radio together. This was...
No, this is the first night we met, and that's what he said. That's from the night we met. I can't speak. I'm so weirded out by this. And I'm not making this up. I go, and I put this little thing on the bookshelf, right? And haven't touched it for 3 years. Because I don't want to know, what does that mean?
So you probably thought, I'm never going to even see this guy again, like after that night?
No, there was no reason to think. As I said, he wasn't the focus of that thing. There was a girl with large breasts and a midget chick. You know what I mean? Like, there was all kinds of, like, where I even had in my mind, I bet I'm going to end up with two with big tits and a midget friend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I figured that's where this was going. All I got to do is get rid of her weird friends. And even now, he doesn't speak. What kind of man meets another man and then saves a pack of matches for 20-some years and then puts those matches in a frame and hands it to him, to me saying, oh, by the way, I know that you think that we're radio partners. I know that you think that we're brothers. But I jerked off to you the first night we met. That's how I feel.
Now, people have to understand my night that night. I was very interested in comedy and all of that, and I had just met a real working comedian.
Oh, my God.
One that was actually willing to come over to the table.
And drink.
And drink, yes.
They never do that in clubs. It's unheard of.
Well, you know, I had seen comedians on television. I always loved them. And here's one who was sitting at my table having a conversation with me. I immediately...
It's not like you knew me from The Tonight Show. I lived blocks from you.
It might as well have been.
We were in a mall. In a bar that was doing so bad that on the weekends they tried to make extra money by doing comedy.
He did a meet and greet.
Yes, right. It wasn't like, oh, I got to meet Louis C.K. It was almost like you got to meet somebody that you went to fucking school with.
To me, it was absolutely no difference.
You had your merch table set up and everything, like in the front with all like T-shirts and, you know, like CDs and stuff, I'm assuming. That's why he came over.
No. I had fucking 6 minutes of material.
Of like an hour, like you were really established, that's why you felt so honored, or...
And
can I tell you something? I've met many listeners, and I don't think they kept fucking the matches from the night we met.
I grabbed those matches on the way out the door, and I knew I was going to hang on to them the rest of my life. And at first, it was for me. I kept them, and I kept them in a box where I keep things like my grandfather's watch. Just very, sentimental keepsakes.
Yeah, your hope chest. All you girls have one.
So I kept those, and then when I was going through it one day, just being sentimental, I saw those. Christmas was coming up, and I thought, you know what? It's been 20 years. I should share this with Ron. And it was one of my prized possessions. That's what I was thinking. I'm giving one of my most favorite things to my most favorite person in the world. And it actually, you see the frame in the picture on the iBang. And I actually had to keep looking around. I couldn't find a frame tiny enough. I was looking at a keepsake box.
Let's get back to the thing. Who fucking meets a dude? And by the way, for 18 of the fucking 20 years or so, you told me you were straight.
Oh, yeah.
Who meets a dude and takes the matches? And then tries to give them to... What did you think I was going to do with those matches?
You know what? I thought you would be as excited to see them as I was to have them.
No.
And then that night, that Christmas, when you opened it and there was no reaction, none whatsoever, then I got really uncomfortable because there was...
Can I tell you? There was a reaction, but I swallowed it right back down when the puke hit my teeth.
But if I remember right, you opened it up and then you held it in your hand and just kind of stared at it for a while until you set it down.
Yes.
You didn't even show it to anyone else in the room. It just went and got sat down.
I don't want my kids to think I was gay.
Well, the whole room went silent too. Everybody.
Yeah.
There was like no reaction from anyone.
No. Well, and
the Fesmas was pretty much over at that point.
One of my kids wanted to ask me about it, but she started crying, and then she said, "Who are you? And what have you done?" Here's Cigars and Scotch. You're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hey, guys. Ron, I picture the expression on your face like Shelley Long in The Shining when she's going through Jack's transcript.
Yeah.
Page by page by page.
Because, here's the thing. It's not that it isn't sentimental, but it's sentimental in the way that you didn't think that you two were sentimental together. You know what I mean? Like, if all of a sudden your buddy started to say to you, "I noticed the way that you move your nose when you're cold," and you know what I mean? Like, suddenly you're in a weird rom-com where the guy comes running back to you. But it's almost as if you wake up at night and your sister crawled into your bed and started to try to jack you off.
You start talking about...
It felt incestuous at best.
How your hair looked in the moonlight or something like that.
I wasn't thinking incestuous. I was thinking... All right, this is one of the most remarkable people I have ever met in my sheltered life.
Why?
You thought that night?
Yes, absolutely. I thought it that night. I thought, all right, here's a guy that doesn't have a southern accent that I've met in Florida.
It wasn't that backwater there. It's Florida. Everyone has been there. It's not like we're talking about the Appalachians, West Virginia. Everybody is from somewhere else in Florida.
Yeah, but I had never met... I just thought you were extremely cool, and I just thought it was one of the most remarkable, life-changing nights of my life.
That's too weird. That's too fucking weird.
And this place called, like, Kisses, too.
I'm very aware of that.
Not called Improv.
No, it was a little fucking place that... on the weekends did fucking comedy. But it was the first gig that Jeff Garland ever did. The first place that he ever did out of town. First place Brian Regan ever did out of town. Jay Leno played that little fucking place in the mall. Really great guys started at this little fucking place. None of them, I guarantee you, have matches. Or were thinking about the night they met some cool guy who didn't have a southern accent.
Did you use any of the matches? Or was it
Oh, no. No, I went and I took them home that night and put them away. I didn't even take extra packs of matches. I just wanted that one pack to remind me of that night.
But do you think that you were going to meet him again at some point? And, like, plan this whole gradual thing out until one day?
Well, I knew I would go back to the club. My friends that I went there with, that Ron described, I knew we were going to go back there again. But that was the night.
What made you decide to give them on that night? Like, maybe on, like, the move to New York, then be like, hey, we're making a really big jump here.
That would have been even weird then. A lot of people are mocking me over the term kisses being on that. Again, this is why I planned on always fucking keeping this private.
I even went back and forth on how to put them in the tiny frame that I finally found.
Should they be covered in sperm?
No. It was
Should they come with a pack of your old underwear? It's weird, dude. It's weird. It's weird, like when your mom tries to give you something from third grade, like you'd want it, Like, here's something that you drew.
It's his
You're
macaroni
like, oh, that's
picture.
dumb.
Where did you keep it for all those years?
Taped to his nutsack. Taped to his fucking nutsack.
I had it in a little wooden box that I kept things in.
Where's the most uncomfortable Christmas gift ever revealed? Oh, God. Adam, you're on the Ron and Fez show. Adam.
Guys, glad to have you back. I want to say, definitely, Ron, you're not wrong when you say it's a weird, unnerving gift. But full credit to Fez, he's not wrong in that it was a life-changing night. And he has a foresight and the prescience to notice that.
It's odd. It's odd because it wasn't like, oh, I wanted to do comedy, because Fez never really did. He only did a couple of open mic nights, then went away for a while, and then called me up later and said, hey, do you remember me? I hear that you're working in radio. Like years went by that I hadn't met him. And then he called me and goes, I know that you're working in radio now. I would love to. And I do what I do for all you kids. Yeah, come on down. Let's see what you got. It's the same way I am now. I am then. Like if someone says, I like this, I want to learn more about it, I'll go, sure. Little did I know, there was this stocky... And over the years I've thought of things that have been missing. Now I'm wondering if he took it. I'm wondering how many times did I fall asleep in front of him? Did he do anything on, you know what I mean?
No, I didn't do anything to you.
Did he spank on my shoes or, try to smell me while I was asleep? Yes, this was years before we met again. We'd known each other for a little while. And by the way, Fez was so strange back then. He came and did stand-up wearing a little bow tie and was somewhat trying to rip off Pee Wee Herman, I guess.
Sure.
You would say. But then he would call me Mr. Bennington. And I'm in my early 20s. He's like, Mr. Bennington, is there... And I'm like, why are you fucking saying that, dude? And little did I know it was a weird S&M thing that he had going on. Here's Lynn, Long Island. You're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hello, gents. How are you today?
Good.
Just wanted to say, it's just clear, Ronnie, you're just not as sentimental as Fez. I think it's really sweet.
Yes, because you're like a hip lesbian woman that gets that whole thing. Here's my problem, Lynn. If he would have said to me years ago, dude, I guess I crushed on you the first night and I kept the fucking matches, then I would have known what our relationship was. Then I would have been fine with it.
But then maybe you would never have gotten as close because you would have thought,
I'm not that dude.
Pretty creepy.
I'm not that dude at all. I'm not that guy at all. But it would have made more sense to me to why Fez never gives me shit back, or you know what I mean? That he is in some kind of weird subservative, I don't know, I'm gonna only guess Chinese type relationship with me, where he walks 9 steps behind me, picking up little matches if I drop them. I know that he's done stuff while I was asleep now.
I haven't done anything to you while you were unconscious.
Where are the photos?
Oh, Daryl, how are you?
Did you save your Coke straw from that night and give it to Fez?
It was basically the way I was living in those days. There was no reason to think that you had met a terrific person. It was more likely, I met this person, I'm going to leave that name with a couple of people in case I'm missing.
Yeah.
It would have been the way to think about me. Andrew, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hey, Ronnie B.
Yeah.
You should have nipped this right in the bud. You should have said, hey, Fez, this is great. It's exactly what I wanted. And just lit your cigar with them.
I don't even... I guess I could have done an Opie thing and just stomped on them. Just stomped on the fucking matches while I was screaming, I'm straight.
He could have said, maybe tossed it around in his mind, do I tell him how I really saved this, or I just say, this is crazy what I found. from, remember, it's like, oh, what a coincidence.
No, here's the weird thing of Fez and me, too. So we have this uncomfortable thing. And I even bring up on the air that this is uncomfortable. And not once in 3 years has he said to me, dude, I want to talk to you about those matches. He's never mentioned it again, even though I brought it up on the air. He doesn't give a shit how others feel. But his own new shirt sentimentality is everything to him. It is completely, weirdly narcissistic. And at the same time, completely subservient. It's the oddest thing that could happen. This is the oddest radio show in history. And then our real lives are even weirder.
I think he's waiting for you to just like open that up. And there'll be a key inside that opens some weird labyrinth that he's constructed.
I wish he would just kill me.
Could go
I
even
wish that he
deeper.
would just come up behind me and cut my head off and then wear it like a fucking hat while he was jacking off and walking down the street.
It was nothing I ever really intended on giving you. I just kind of got moved in the sentimental moment.
Sentimental how? What would I say to you? In your fucking weird mind, what was I going to say? Put that thing up to my heart and said, dude, I remember so much that night. I just thought that you were fantastic. Your little fucking weird bow tie, hanging out with a midget.
That would have been cool.
Dude, you were the freak show that bought fucking cocktails. I felt like I sat down with Jack and Coke, and then I had to hear some fucking rambling Southern people say shit. Claude, you're on the Run of Fez show.
Hey, yo, I just wanted to say that, Fez, that's some really uncomfortable shit. That's something you might want to tell your homie from the get-go. You might want to put that out there on the table early and get it over with. That's so weird you wait that long and hold on to something so almost so irrelevant. It's creepy. It's weird.
All right, I got this from Shower Bench. This is what I call a payoff. You were not overhyping all this time. As for the who does this, the good news is I've experienced such a gift, so you're not alone. The bad news is, yes, it was from my beloved. That is the weird thing about it. This is something a guy does when he meets a great girl at work and then holds on to it and gives it to her on some anniversary. Or what a girl does when she meets some fucking dude that she thinks to herself, I'm going to spend the rest of my life with him. And here's the weird thing. He has spent his life with me. He won. I'm the fucking creep who doesn't know I'm in a rom-com. In the fucking movie, I would be the bad guy for not realizing how much she loves me.
He doesn't love you. Quit him.
I guess every time that, you know, I had a kid or whatever, Fez just laid in his fucking house crying, thinking he doesn't even know I'm alive. Oh, God.
Like, I've
Weirdest
been to
thing ever.
At least, like, 5 comedy clubs in New York, and, like, just done stuff with, like, funny people that if they told them, if they were, like, really successful, like, a couple years from now and said, hey, do you want to, like, do something? I'd be like, that would be cool, but I hadn't, like, saved anything from people, even though I had really thought they were really funny, like a coaster or anything like that.
None of your shit made any sense whatsoever.
Fuck.
I have a jelly packet from when I met my girlfriend.
See, that's what you might do. Something like that, because you're thinking, this is someone I love.
Yeah.
And I want to remember this moment. Not, here's a guy who just did a fucking, 12-minute set, and now he's all drunk, asking my midget friend, does she have an adult vagina, or is it more like a baby's?
You asked that?
Yes.
What was the answer?
I don't remember, because by that point, I'd already been about 15 cocktails in. I broke a glass and put it up to my wrist and screaming out, give me one reason not to fucking cut this. If anyone has one goddamn reason. And I knew that I did that because I did it every night that I drank. So, That goes without saying.
I'm gonna remember this night forever.
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm with Fez. I think it's like a memorable little object.
Because you're a girl. This is what girls do.
That's
I think it was sweet as well. I think it's something to remember your friendship. That's when it started.
No, it didn't. I never saw him again for a month. Then I saw him a couple of times, and then I hadn't seen him again for years.
And he saved that. And you should
Yes.
go, wow, this is amazing. That's the first night we met.
Yes, and go, what does this mean? Dudes don't do this with other dudes.
You're like his best friend, right? You guys are best friends, brothers.
We at one point were best friends. Now we dislike each other far too much to be best friends, but we're more like relatives. We're more like brothers. We're more like brothers who let each other down. That you were stuck with. That's where our relationship is. And yes, what I am saying, what you are saying is true. It would be adorable, but we were total strangers, not best friends. I can't tell you if I talked to Fez at all that night. I just remember him being a shy, weird kid. Excuse me, Chris?
Oh, I know that went out over the air. Someone checked in the lobby for us.
Jim Florentine is his name. We're going to break and come back with him. Here's Bradley. Bradley, you're on the Run of Fez show.
Hey, you guys. Thank you so much for having me on your brand new show. I just wanted to, I was going to ask Fez if he, lit one of your cigars with it, if that's why it was important, but he said he did nothing with it. And, my point is, I don't think anybody would want to hang up in their house a ratty old pack of matches, even if you framed it. It's not a work of art.
I don't get it. And it was from a mall. Like you pointed out, it's not like we were Catch a Rising Star in New York or the Improv in L.A. We were in a mall in Clearwater.
Well, hopefully this is the worst of it, and this is not there's even worse things that could come out.
Now you're going the way that my brain was racing that night.
He probably has another gift.
Yeah.
I got another question. Fez, would you be angry if Ronnie did take those out and just start lighting cigars with them?
Yeah, what is it that you wanted me to do? Say, this was the best night of my whole life, you saved this thing, and I'm going to hang it up now? Oh, and I hope that you have a picture of me that you've done in jizz. I hope that there's some kind of abstract jizz painting of me.
That would have taken a lot more time. With this, I knew you weren't as sentimental as me, obviously. But
oh, I am with chicks and my kids.
But I really thought there would be some appreciation of, and just some nostalgia and a sweet memory. And just for a moment, kind of bring back that first time we met. Just kind of relive that moment. And that did not happen at all.
There was 7 or 8 of you, right?
Yeah.
Did you talk at all that night, or did you just listen?
I know I was very excited, and I did a lot of listening. But I was still thrilled when you came over to the table.
Slamming cocktail down after cocktail. Hoping oh, I got to keep this fucking table entertained so I can drink for free. The midge was very fucking oddly hot, though. As midgets will be. All right, I guess we got a break here. We'll be back with Jim Florentine. I will tell you this, Fez. Now, because of those matches, I kind of do look back on that as a bad, weird day. And then it has made me rethink over everything in my life. What was that supposed to mean? Why did he do that?
See, that wasn't the purpose at all. That wasn't the intention. It was, oh, look at this and have a good memory, not a bad memory. So this has just gone completely opposite.
The blackout was part of that fucking memory for me. You know that. By the way, I was drinking that night. And every night. There was nothing cool or fun about me. I was just a raging addict.
I thought you were great.
No, sure, funny. But great how? Like great, I'd like to sit on his dick great?
That wasn't going through my mind then. I didn't even realize I was gay at that point.
I love the fact that you felt like you met someone from the show business when I really wasn't at all. It's no
To me, you totally were.
It's no different than if you would have met the cashier at the same fucking place.
Like, what if you were like performing one night and you found out?
Well, there would be nothing like special about it. Like I'm nobody. So if somebody told me like, "Hey, I saved this," then like knowing that I would be like have some giant TV show, I'd say there'd be no indication that would happen at all.
There was nothing about that, nor did he say, should we have a picture taken together, or could you write down something on the menu? Some people do things like that. He just took a pack of matches, kept them next to his heart for 20-some years, then tried to make me feel uncomfortable in front of my family with it.
Yeah, I don't even think I told the friends I was with. The midget or the big-titted girl. I didn't say, get me some matches. I got to remember this night. It was just all very personal.
Look how quickly he's using my two-dimensional thing. Even though these were his friends, he now just accepts Ron's fucking version of who they were. It's the weirdness of our relationship. It's nuts. Today, who do you think did a worse job of getting this pushed off? You or Chris Stanley?
I did a worse job because I should have been in charge of everything, and I did not get it done.
Okay. For now on, anyone who acts really embarrassing, and that includes you interns, will be forced to carry the matches of shame the following day. You will be able to carry the shame matches.
I think it's sweet. I still think it's sweet. Nice gift.
Thank you, Norris, the intern.
Norris, here's the problem. Guys that are supposed to be fucking regular buddies together and not have a sexual relationship don't do that. And I do think that if someone says, like if someone here, right, was obsessing on you, you would rather know, right?
Yes.
That's kindness. Not, I'm going to act like I'm your friend, just waiting for the first night that you probably get too drunk.
But you can't assume he was obsessing over you.
Yeah.
But he was, since he saved the matches.
It's
just
not
matches. It's not a picture of you. That would be weird.
This is worse.
He saved it for years past. I'm late for Jim Florentine. Let's break. We'll be right back with one of the funniest comedians working today. Also has a show here on Sirius.
That is Metal Midgets. And
how weird it all ties together.
I know, it's very strange.